Hello and welcome to Dream Garage, the podcast where we put together a dream car collection. Each week there'll be a new theme with a specific budget. We'll browse the classifieds and decide on which car we would buy for our dream garage. This week it's a Luxo Barge for £5,000. So let's go ahead and share the screen. Already pre-filled it. We've got 313 choices of cars in our current filters. So let's dive in and look at what we've got. Let's sort by price high to low. So when I'm thinking Luxo Barge, I've got saloon, I've got kind of big capacity, maximum waft basically. So yes, today I will probably be looking for an automatic, which may surprise our regular viewers because usually I'm all about the manuals. So what have we got? We got XF Jaguar 2014 for 5k, E-Class, 5 Series, S-Class, good, usual suspects. An XJ, a Daimler, 66 actually, very wafty, an Exeter with 109,000 miles, an older S-Class 420, a 540 Sport, CLS 500. Let's have a look at this Daimler 66, that's got waft written all over it. Let's view the gallery. Now these cars, this car is all about the interior. It needs to be comfortable. It needs to be a relaxing place to just waft. Look at that rug. You know, that isn't even a carpet. That's a full-on rug. That's what I'm talking about. Leather everywhere. You've got a fold-down wooden tray for your passengers. Look at that. All the legroom you could want. It's a first-class lounge on wheels. Very nice. What are they saying about it? For sale, my much loved Daimler 66, which is it says 66 because it's a V12, 6 litre, long wheelbase, last of the V12 Jaguars before Ford put a V8 in them. She has a full service history and lots of books and 2 keys. She comes with every conceivable extra from the era, being the Daimler, 4 new tyres fitted before her MOT. I love the way people gender their cars. She passed her MOT with 3 advisories. I had the small welding advisory done to the front right arch and had repaired and undersealed. The previous owner also had a new starter motor alternator fitted. All that she needs now is a light restoration. Rust bubbles. So there's a bit of work involved there, and we've got a 5k budget, so it doesn't leave us any wriggle room there. So I'm not, although I love that is maximum waft. I'm not sure we can take that on for our dream garage. This is an older S-Class Mercedes. Doesn't really stack up to the Daimler, does it? Once I've seen the Daimler, look at the interior. Oh, they're not even showing the interior. It doesn't look wafty enough for me. It doesn't look comfortable enough. It's not a first-class lounge vibe. CLS, always like the CLSs. It's a 500. Is this a Luxo Barge? I suppose it is, in a way. It looks tidy. Very attractive motor cars, I think, the CLSs. They were certainly a change in approach for the styling of Mercedes when they first came out. Quite like that. 7 Series or V8, a W8 4Motion, a 7 Series, very low mileage. This is an older 7 Series. What year is it? 1993. It's a 730i, which I believe is actually is it a V8 or straight 6? Well, they made some smaller capacity. Maybe E32. Yeah, it's a V8. Yeah, I know they made some smaller capacity V8s as well. That's 499. Small, low mileage. Are you a fan of classic luxury? Yes, I am. Look no further than this 1993 BMW 730i. Exceptionally low mileage. A rare find for vintage car enthusiasts. Yeah, I mean, it is cool. It isn't. It looks cool. It looks like it's. Well, it's done low mileage. Has it got an MOT or anything? It says inline 8 engine. It's not an inline 8, it's a V8. It needs a bit of work. Yeah, it needs a restoration as well. Okay, not down on that. Again, it's 4999. We can't do it. We can't do it. A Jag XJ 3.2 V8. What's the interior like on that? It's not a Daimler 66 probably. Oh, it's got a standard carpet. Come on, I want a rug. Looks nice. It does look nice though. But I've seen the Daimler 66 now. I've been spoiled. S Class or S350. They're okay. I don't mind. I actually like that. I like those S classes, but it just doesn't have the character, does it? Any French contenders? I'm expecting some kind of Citroen or Renault to pop up somehow, somewhere. I have set the engine capacity to be a minimum of 3 litres, so that might be stopping some of those things. Lots of Jags and Beamers, Mercs. Jaguar XJR. I mean, it's fast. Is it wafty? Is it a Luxo Barge? Would you say an XJR is a Luxo Barge or is it a sports saloon? Okay, let's sort by, as I just sort by oldest and see what comes up. No, it's not done that. Why are you doing this to me, Auto Trader? You did this the other day. Sort by oldest. It's doing price, high to low. Age, oldest. Thank you. Rolls Royce Silver Shadow probably needs a ton of work. I mean, it's 2K. It's a 2K Rolls Royce. We don't want to go there. An older Daimler Sovereign, 875 quid. Probably needs too much doing to it. Daimler. Oh, okay, there's a Daimler XJ here, which is a V8 one. What's the interior like on that? It's got a dent on it. I've seen that. Looks a bit scrappy, doesn't it? It's been LPG converted by the looks of it. Oh, that's been well loved. It's got a massive crack in the leather. Looks alright. I want 1975 for it. It's done a higher mileage, which isn't a bad thing in itself. 156,000. 535i Sport. Lexus LS 400 with 180k on it. I mean, they go on and on and on, those cars. 183,000. Has there been a car that's been as over engineered as the Lexus LS? They just go on and on and on. They just go on and on and on. Vauxhall Omega, finally something else. 3.2 litre V6 Elite. I was looking at this one the other day. It's already been favorited. I browsed. Yeah, so this one's. Look, these cracks. They don't inspire me with confidence. I feel like that is not in a good place. That one. Passat, 4Motion, interesting cars. W8s, very interesting engine. If it was a Phaeton, I'd probably be taking a more closer look at it, but Passats don't really scream Luxo Barge to me. Interesting nonetheless. A8 4.2 Quattro, 2.5 grand. That's cheap, isn't it? Oh, hello. 760. 445 brake horsepower. 3.5k. It's done 212,000 miles. This is like the early Chris Bangle stuff. Oh, that looks mangy inside. Sorry, I can't. 212,000. I want something that I want to feel. Here's a Phaeton. Okay. 5 litre TDI V10. Monster torque. Monster torque on this car. It's got 309 brake horsepower, but it's really torquey. This is the engine that they put in the R50 Touareg, the 5 litre V10, and yeah, it could do with a Hoover, but that looks Luxo Barge. That's Luxo Barge territory, and it's essentially they based the Bentleys on the engineering behind this car. This guy's obviously a collector of these. He's got a couple of them. What are the numbers? Rare opportunity to own a 2004 5 litre TDI VW flagship. Estimate suggests that less than 25 remain on the road in the UK. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I saw one. They didn't sell very well because they were really expensive VWs. But that means it's great territory for a cheap Luxo Barge nowadays. No running issues. Cars are not built like this anymore. This is another over-engineered car. As I say, the Bentleys were based on these with revisions. New auxiliary battery and electrical harness, 18-way heated and cooled massage seats, all working, new MOT, lease car, forces south. See also my V6. So he's got. I've stopped sharing. Why did I do that? He's got 2 Phaetons and he's selling them both for 4 grand. I'm going to favourite that. I'm going to look at the numbers as well because I am a car geek and I need to know. It's got 750 newton meters of torque. It's not rapid, but it's a wafter. It's going to get you there in style and comfort. And you won't see another one on the road, will you? Another Phaeton, that must be the same one. Same person selling. Okay, what I'm going to do, because I've only favorited one so far, I'm going to open up the field a little bit to... should we try 2 litre? It's going to give us a load more cars. Just to see if we get any French cars in here. Ford Granada Scorpio. Volvos. What's it giving us? Honda Accord. No. 960, 2.5. A few more Jags. 7 Series. A Rover 600. Really, you want the 800, don't you, if you want Luxo Barge territory. Let's look at this. Let's look at this LS400. It's 4 grand, 180,000 miles on it. Rock solid cars. Don't actually see that many for sale, actually, but that's because people just love them. I imagine they just run them into the ground. They're not worth a great deal of money, you know, so people just hang on to them. Peugeot, we've got a French car, Peugeot 406 GLX, 2.5 grand or 2,300. Another Omega. Let's sort by price now. don't know what Auto Trader's doing. Auto Trader, if you're listening, sort it out. What's going on? Look, literally sort it out because the sorting is not working. I have to rant over. E-Class. It has to be an S-Class. I'm sorry. A6 has to be an A8. XF has to be an XJ. I want maximum Luxo Barge territory here. I do like this CLS though. I do like it. It's a CLS 500. It looks tidy. It's a good engine. They use that engine in so many things in the SL, the CLK 500, the ML 500. It's a solid bulletproof engine. Looks beautiful, to be fair. And they want 5k for it. It's done 134,000 miles. So I'm gonna save that one. There is a lot of choice, but when you've got a lot of choice, you have to be discerning. A Alpina D3 is too sporty, too small. S-Class. It's nice. It's not tickling my fancy. I want something with charm as well. Something that's interesting. That's why I was thinking, is there a Citroen? Shall I just go and look for a Citroen? I will go and look for a Citroen. There's any Citroens. 5. Okay. Here we go. We've got 2 C6s. But this one's 2,500. It's the 2.7 HDI. This is what we want. This is Gallic charm at its finest. Very rare car. Cool interior, cool exterior. When this came out, it was quite well lauded, coveted even. They are a nightmare in terms of electrics, but that is all part of the charm. They are rare cars. This is the top of the range with absolutely everything and then some. It has front and rear parking sensors, auto headlights and wipers, lane departure warning, ambience and pavement lighting, hydrodynamic suspension, Citroen suspension. Can't beat it. With electronically well, I say you can't beat it. Obviously, you can beat it because with age comes problems with it. And that's always let them down. The older they get, the harder they are to warrant keeping because of the costs involved with keeping them on the road. And that's why you just don't see many of them. And it put people off buying them initially because they knew that depreciation was going to set in. So everyone just defaults to the BMWs and the Mercedes and the Audis and Jaguars. But great cars. I mean, they are cool. There's another one as well. That one's 2.5 grand. The other one's 4,600. I'm just trying to work out why, because it's done a higher mileage and it's a Cat N write-off. So is it? And it's also the 2.2 HDI, which, you know, that's not. It's done higher mileage. It's got a smaller engine. It's newer. But is it worth 2 grand more? Is it just because they're taking advantage of the fact there's not many of them and it's a bit of an open market? It's got a massive scratch. Oh, no. It's got a massive scratch down the side as well. I'm gonna save the 2.5 grand one. And then I'm going to go and look for some Renaults. I'm going to go full on French hunting. What Fords are in there? Don't know. I'll come back to that. A few Lexus, a Mazda, a Mitsubishi, a Peugeot, of course. What Peugeot? 508s, 407s. Another French car you don't see too many of. 508. Replace the 407s. 4,500 for a 2 litre 150 brake horse. I just don't think it's powerful enough. Don't think it's got enough grunt to interest me. I know I'm wafting, but I want to waft with some grunt behind me. No Renaults. No Renaults. Few Volvos. A Mitsubishi. What Mitsubishi is it? A Lancer. No. I thought it might be like a Gallant or something. Mazdas. What have they got here? Mazda 6s. No. Hyundai. Is there some kind of Sonata or something? Yeah, the Sonata. Would you really consider it's a manual Sonata with 143 brake horsepower? Who bought this car? Who bought this car? Such a weird choice. Obviously cheaper than the rivals. Not sure by how much. Okay. What about the Kia? Is it like a was it a Magentis? Yes, a Magentis. 2.7 V6 with 185 brake. Now you think the Hyundai Sonatas are rare. When was the last time you saw a Kia Magentis? Did you even know that they existed? Again, who bought the car? Who bought that car? Who bought that car new? Probably paid the best part of 30k for it. Maybe it was cheaper, I don't know. Rovers. No 800 Rovers. 75s are pretty wafty, but not quite a Jaguar level of waft. Any GS LS? I'm gonna come back to this LS. I like it. I think I'm gonna favourite that as well. So I haven't got a Jaguar in there. I'm probably misstepping, aren't I? I should probably put a Jaguar in. But it does need to be an XJ and it does need to be a V8. Okay, we've got a 3.2 XJ8 here. Nice red colour. I looked at this one earlier and I sort of wrote it off because it wasn't a Daimler, but it doesn't need the work doing to it. No rust, no rot, new alloys, new tyres, lots of storage, low use forces sale. A real pleasure to drive. A lot of car for reasonable money. A future classic. They're really gunning for that car. 3.2 XJ8, 79,000 miles, 4995. Okay, let's put it in. Let's put it in the mix. Any other XJs worth looking at? There's a 4.2 XJ, a later one. This is when they went all aluminium, 300 brake horsepower. Put that in the mix. We've got two XJs. This one's on 73,000 miles and is 4,590. What they're probably going to be four Mondayos is a Granada 2-litre Scorpio, which I've seen before, but I think it's Yeah, it needs work. There's another Scorpio, which I do like. I know they're really maligned for the way they look, but I just think because they're so quirky, it just appeals to me. Yeah, the rest are just Mondeos. Not just saying I like Mondeos, but it's not a Luxo Barge, is it? Let's be honest. Dodge. What are these? Avenger. Nope. Alfa Romeo. Any 164s? 159, 159, 159. Nope. Cadillac. Chrysler. What are these? 300Cs. White wafty. CRDs. Cadillac. What's that? STS. That's basically a Saab. Talking of Saab, they're only like 9.5s. Yes, there are. This probably isn't a Luxo Barge, is it? But I do like the last. These are the last ever Saabs before they went under. Such a shame. But that is the way things go, isn't it? Sometimes I like Saabs. Okay, so one last thing before I make my mind up. I've got it open on. I had it open on only private, so I've opened it up to trade as well. Private and trade, and then there's still no Renaults, which is mighty concerning to me. Camry, what is this? A Mark 10 or Mark X? Toyota. It's a Japanese import. Interesting. 4K. 57,000 miles on it. I know what you're thinking. It's rear wheel drive. What? It's rear wheel drive. It's got a 2.5 litre engine. I have no idea what spec that is. It doesn't give me the performance figures. Camry. They love these in the States. You don't see them over here, but they were like really, really popular in America. Okay, so now I'm going back to any model, any make, trade and private, just to do one last sweep, see if there's anything interesting. C-Class, that's the 7 Series we saw earlier. Passat, A6, 300C, 3 Series. Another Phaeton here, 3 litre TDI, 113,000, that's 499. But the 5 litre V10 Phaeton. Insignia, VXR, too sporty for our requirements. I'm like really surprised. I'm not. Am I surprised? I was expecting to see like a Renault Safran or something in here. What am I? I'm just going to see if there are any Renault Safrans because I'm curious. Megane, Renault Fluent. There's no Safrans. Renault Safrans. They are odd cars. Skoda Superb. Is there a Skoda Superb? There is a Skoda Superb. The 1.8T Comfort. Not quite luxurious enough. Great cars though. Great car. Although I think the TSI engine, that one's probably okay. I know some of the sort of mid 2000s Volkswagen TSI engines had problems with oil consumption. What other Cadillacs are there? BLS, STS, CTS. No. Other Chevrolets are there? Cruise, Epica. Well, I don't know. I don't even know what they are. Is there an Audi A8? Yes, there are some Audi A8s. TDIs. 07, 09, 09. What are they like inside? Are they going to meet our requirements? Yeah, that looks nice. I don't have a Mercedes S-Class, but I have an A8. Why is that? Probably because Audi A8s are rarer than the S-Class. You just don't see A8s. I'm going to put that in there. That one's 3-litre TDI Quattro. It's done 130,000 miles. They want 4,980 for it. It's a dealer. They've all done high mileage. They're just mile munchers though, aren't they? This sort of car. It's exactly why you buy them. You're an exec. You've got a company car. You need to hit the motorway, and what better way to do it in comfort and style if you've got to do big numbers. So here's a 166 Alfa Romeo. I would prefer the Busso V6, but look at that. It's a manual, probably a bit too sporting for our needs, but that is a lovely, sumptuous interior. It's quite funny, isn't it, nowadays, looking at these tiny screens that were in cars just a few years ago, and now look at basically the whole interior is a screen. Say just a few years ago, 24 years ago, but even 10 years ago, if you look at some of the tech that was in the car, it's changed massively. Cars are just so complex now. Maybe, anyway, I'm not going to go on a rant about that. Let's look at what we've got. Let's narrow it. Let's go to what we've saved. We have, ignore my previous saved ones. We have a Phaeton 5-litre TDI that's 3,959. It's done 150,000 miles. We have a Citroen C6 2.7 HDI V6. That's up for $2,500 with 143,000 miles on it. We've got a CLS 500 with 134,000. That's full whack at 5k. An XJ 3.2. That is 70. That's done 79,000 and it's 4,995. It looks straight and clean. It's done a low mileage. We've got a Lexus LS 400. That's done 180,000 miles, but as I said, those go on forever. That's 4k. We've got a slightly later 2004 XJ with the 4.2 engine. That has done 73,000 miles and they want 4,590. And we've got a TDI A8 with 131,000 miles on the clock and they want 4,980. So I'm sitting here looking at what really appeals to me, and I love the Phaetons and the Citroen C6s because they are rare, they're quirky, they're wafty. The Citroen C6 is $2,500 and the budget is $5,000. So anything that I save from that budget would probably go into a contingency because they are problematic. They can have their problems in their old cars now. The Phaeton 4K, that's such a well-engineered car, and that engine is just stunning. The V10 5-litre TDI be completely different to the other things. The Jaguars, what more waft can you have than a Jaguar? The Merc CLS 500, I've put that in because it's a stylish car and it's a bit rarer. Is it Luxo Barge territory? It's probably a bit on the sporting side, isn't it? The Audi, it's a diesel 3 litre. I don't think it's going to compete with the same waft values as the other cars. And the final one that I'm thinking about is the Lexus LS 400 at £4,000. So we've got a pair of Jaguars. Do I want a 3.2 or a 4.2? This engine's probably better, isn't it? Looks nice, looks clean. It's a Jag XJ. Yeah, I like that Jaguar. And the other car I like is the Phaeton. So it's down to the Phaeton and the Jaguar. 150,000 miles on the Phaeton. But that engine wins it for me. I think I'm going to go for the Phaeton. It's a 5 litre TDI with huge tree pulling amounts of torque. So this is my choice. The Volkswagen Phaeton 5 litre TDI V10. They want 3.9 for it. I'm going to see if we can get it for closer to 3, and I'm going to keep the 2K as a contingency. That's my Luxo Barge for under 5K. The Volkswagen Phaeton 5 litre TDI V10. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Would you choose something else? Is there something I've missed? Are you a little bit sad I didn't pick something French? As I am a little bit sad as well. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And join us next week to see what else we can add to our dream garage.